Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So this tutorial, as you can see up top in the title, is going to be a foundation routine. This is my everyday natural lightweight kind of sweat-proof foundation routine that I do. Sorry, there's like hair stuck on me. And so I thought this would be something really nice to share because we're going into the hotter months of the year and you don't want to have a lot of product caked on your face, but you still want to have a nice even texture or a nice even tone and no texture on your face and just like a bronze glow. It looks like you've been out on the beach, but like you don't have makeup really caked onto your face. It's not really a no makeup look, but it is a very lightweight makeup look. So we're just going to jump right in and I'm going to stop rambling now. I hope you guys enjoy and we're just gonna start the tutorial. I'll stop rambling. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Alright, so first I'm going to take the Too Faced HangoveRx primer and I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of that in my fingers and rub that all over my face, and my eyes and brows and stuff are obviously done. So once I've done that, I'm going to take the Benefit POREfessional primer and squeeze a little bit and put it on my nose area because this is where my pores show. And I'm just going to tap, almost like press that into the skin. And I only do that in these problematic areas, which would be right around my nose, is where my pores show. And sometimes on my forehead, top of my lip and chin. And I know this seems like a lot of primers, but guess what? We're not done! So the last primer that I'm going to be using is the YSL Touche Eclut Blur Primer. I put this on the outer edges of my face just because I like it. This is the primer, by the way. So I'm just going to put these on like the outer edges. It just really gives like a really smooth, well, like it says, a blur effect to the skin. And then with whatever is left on my fingers, I need to stop looking at the viewfinder and look at the camera. I'm going to just put it all over my face with whatever is left. So now I'm going to take the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea and a BB cream and mix the two of these on the back of my hand. I like to mix these because a BB cream, when my skin's being a little problematic like it is right now, is not quite enough, but I don't want to have a full face of foundation. So I just mix 3 drops of the Rainforest of the Sea foundation with that BB cream, and then I'm just going to mix it in with my finger on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to dab that all over my face. And then you still get like the coverage of like a light coverage foundation, but then the BB cream part of it like helps it not be cakey and thick. And I'm going to take my beauty blender and just stipple that all over my face and blend it out real quick. I need a mirror. Okay, now I have a mirror. And sometimes I'll even rub this in with my fingers, which I might end up doing. And like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people think that like you have to have all these fancy brushes and stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm a brush freak and I have a ton of them, but sometimes your fingers work just as well. And I'm just going to make sure that I really push this into the skin because that's what a lot of people really rush on foundation, and then they end up looking cakey and gross, and it's because they don't take the time to really push the foundation into the skin. Foundation, BB cream, whatever you want to call it. So what's left on my hand, I'm just going to take it on my finger. I'm going to put it down my neck and on these problematic areas. Sorry, just totally covered y'all up. And then I'm just going to blend it down my neck with my hands. Take my beauty blender. Just tap that into the skin. So it has definitely muted the spots on my face, and I don't want a full coverage foundation today, so I'm not going to fully cover those up. So that's about as covered up as you're going to get, but we're going to jump right in to highlighting the face, and this is the MAC Prep+Prime little like Prep+Prime highlighter, concealer, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do a couple clicks of that, and this is in Light Boost. And just put a little bit of this under my eyes. And I'm not going to do much because, again, I'm not going for a real cakey, full coverage look. And then I'm just going to take my beauty blender, hi kitty, and just blend this out. And sometimes I'll use a stippling sponge. And I have one up here beside me, but I just feel like using a beauty blender today. And again, we're just going to be pressing this all into the skin. And really be sure that you're pressing and rolling the beauty blender to really get that into the skin. And I like to put whatever's left over like on the side of my nose to make my nose look a little smaller. And then just whatever is on the forehead, we're just going to tap that out. And once all of that is blended, I'm just going to go over my whole face again with the beauty blender just to make sure that everything is blended and I didn't miss anything earlier. Rolling it, pushing it into the skin. Very light coverage, but it covers any redness or anything like that. Granted, these two things were huge, and I just don't feel like putting a heavy concealer or foundation on them, so I don't mind having those little spots on my face, but it definitely muted them. But I'm just going to be pressing into the skin. And this foundation routine really does well this time of year just because it's not something heavy on your face and you're not going to be like melting when you start to sweat. So now I'm just going to set my entire face using the It Cosmetics ByeBye Pores translucent powder. Yeah. And I'm just going to open that up, and there's already some in the top. And I'm going to take my MAC 138 and just put this all over the brush and pat this all over my face. And this is going to set it, but again, we're not using enough powder to be cakey. We're just simply setting our foundation or BB cream so that we don't get any creasing, we don't start to have our makeup moving. And this to me is a very, very important step because one, I'm oily. So if I don't set everything, then like in a couple hours I start to like get oily or sweat, and it just like, it's gross. It just like the makeup starts to separate, and then when you blot, some of your makeup comes off. Then if you don't blot and you just put powder on it, it makes this weird like paste with your oils. It's not pleasant. So if you're oily, sometimes dry people with dry skin don't have to set their makeup, but I like to. And then I'm just again gonna go back over it with my beauty blender just to push the powder into the skin. Alright, so now we are going to bronze. I'm going to take the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which I've been loving this. And I'm going to take that on a Morphe M462. It's just a big stippling brush. I'm going to really swirl that in to the bronzer because I'm darker. I really have to pack this bronzer on. And this bronzer is one that I just bronze my whole face. It's not one that I just like focus like on my cheekbones because it's not a contour, it's a bronzer. So I'm putting in my nose, kind of under my eye, just bronzing up the entire, I just spit, the entire face. Moving down my neck and just really blend that into the skin. And then you can see on this side, it's pretty, but there's not much dimension. And on this side, we have this nice bronze kind of look going. So now I'm just going to bronze the other side. And this side of my face does not take pigment as well as the other. So I almost always have to pack a little more on this side, which I think is so bizarre. But again, we're just bronzing the entire face. Alright, so now that we're bronzed, I'm going to deepen up the bronze with this angled brush by Zoeva. It's a 127 sheer cheek brush, and I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion bronzer in the color 30M, and I'm just going to swirl that around, tap it off, and just go right under my cheekbones in big circular motions. And this isn't contouring, it's just deepening up the cheekbone area, and then on the forehead and under my jaw and down my neck. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And this just deepens up the bronze. We're not contouring with it, but it deepens up the bronze. And go on the side of the nose and under the lip, and then just all over. So then we're going to go in with blush. And I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Becca palette. I'm going to be using that middle color right here. This is Ameretto. It's a really pretty bronze color. And I'm going to mix it with this color over here, which is Rose Spritz. So I'm going to swirl my brush in Ameretto, tap it off, and then dab it. One time, just dab it into Rose Spritz. And then we're just going to apply that all over the cheeks. And swirl it in Ameretto, tap it off, dab it in Rose Spritz. And this is a super, like, I use a really light hand because I'm not a very big blush person. So I'm just like sweeping the blush all over my cheeks. And I really love this blush because the Rose Spritz one has almost like a sheen to it. I have a video with everything swatched, but it has like a gold sheen to it, so it's super pretty. Alright, so now we're going to take MAC's Gold Deposit, and pardon my washing machine beeping in the background. But we're going to take a Morphe fan brush. This is the M310, and I'm just going to like dust it through there, tap it off, and then just go all over my cheekbone, not in one specific place. Just go all over to add like a bronze glow, and then above my eyebrows. Chris, stop it. My dog is licking a raw spot on himself. So, one of my favorite parts, if I can find it, where'd it go? Oh, it's on the floor. Pardon me. Is I'm going to take a cream highlight, and this one's by Becca and Opal, and don't mind that. I accidentally stuck my nail in it. And my beauty blender, I'm going to take the tip of my beauty blender and put it in there, and then I'm just going to tap that on the high points of my cheekbone. And the puppies are whining in the background. And that just gives a really nice glow. And this actually layers really well on top of powder, which is why I'm putting it on top of the powder. And then whatever is left on there just above the eyebrows. And then we are going to set that by taking Champagne Pop and Perseco Pop, again from these two colors from this palette, and this fan brush, and I'm just going to mix the two of them, tap it off, and then just sweep it over just to set it, and then put it on the tops of the eyebrow, and then we'll do the same thing to the other side. Just sweep it, because I don't want too crazy of a highlight. And then I'm going to take Champagne Pop and put that on the tip of my nose and on my lip. So I am going to go do my hair and put on some lipstick, and I'll be right back. Please subscribe, like, and comment below, and let me know what else you guys would enjoy seeing as far as tutorials or videos or chit chats or whatnot. So thank you so much for watching.